Good morning, everyone. This is lecture number 48 of Engineering Thermodynamics. In last lecture, we saw Orsat apparatus. Orsat apparatus is a part of theory as well as a part of uh, practical. Now we'll see standard enthalpy change. Now, what is meant by standard enthalpy change? Standard means we are considering standard state. Standard enthalpy change is defined as the change in enthalpy for a process. Change in enthalpy for a process, chemical or physical process. Okay. Change in enthalpy for a chemical or physical process where initial and final substance are in standard state. Initial state and final state of a substance are in standard state. Now, what is meant by standard state? Standard state is considered as atmospheric condition. Okay, and which atmospheric condition we are considering here? Standard state means atmosphere is at a pressure of atmosphere is 1 atmosphere and 25 degrees Celsius. Pressure should be 1 atmosphere and 25 degrees Celsius. If the enthalpy change happens from state 1 to state 2 and initial state and final state during a enthalpy change, pressure is 1 atmosphere and temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, then the change in enthalpy is called as a standard enthalpy change. Now, what is meant by 1 atmosphere? 1 atmosphere is 1.01325 bar. Sometimes it is taken as at 1 bar also. Okay, even at 1 bar or 1 atmosphere pressure and 25 degrees Celsius, the enthalpy change is called as a standard enthalpy change. Now, enthalpy change is written as a delta H and standard enthalpy change is written as a delta H naught. Here we are using naught, delta H 0 or delta H naught. Example, standard state of a liquid is water. Standard state of a liquid is water. Is a pure liquid at atmospheric pressure and 25 degrees Celsius. 1 atmospheric pressure and 25 degrees Celsius. Means a standard state of water is a liquid state. Okay. Now, enthalpy of formation. Now, what is meant by formation? We are writing enthalpy delta H and F stands for formation. Now, formation means creation, forms. It is generating, enthalpy is generating, enthalpy is increasing, or enthalpy we can say enthalpy is changing or generating the enthalpy. Formation means generating, creating, okay. And enthalpy of formation is written as delta HF, F stands for formation and delta H is change in enthalpy. Heat of formation, enthalpy of formation also called as heat of formation because enthalpy is a heat of formation. Heat of formation or enthalpy of formation are used to provide a concise collection of thermochemical data. For consistency, enthalpy of formation data are recorded for reaction that takes place under standard condition. Now, under standard condition means under standard state. Standard condition are constant pressure of 1 atmosphere. We have seen the standard state means standard pressure of 1 atmosphere and fixed temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, means that transformation takes place at 1 atmosphere and 25 degree Celsius. The enthalpy change when 1 mole of compound is formed. The enthalpy change when 1 mole of compound is formed for its constituent element at 1 atmosphere and 25 degrees Celsius is called as a enthalpy of formation. Enthalpy of formation is defined as the enthalpy change when 1 mole of compound is formed from its constituent elements. When one mole of compound is formed from its constituent element at 1 atmosphere and 25 degrees Celsius, whatever change in enthalpy takes place is called as a enthalpy of formation. Suppose 1 CO2 is formed. Suppose 1 CO2 is formed from its constituent element. From its constituent elements means from carbon and oxygen. When 1 mole of CO2, that is 1 CO2 is formed from its constituent elements means carbon and oxygen at 1 atmospheric pressure and 25 degrees Celsius, then whatever enthalpy is changed, that enthalpy is called the enthalpy of formation. The element must be in their stable state at this pressure and temperature. Stable states means they does not change its state. Now look at here, nitrogen combines with hydrogen forms NH3, okay, ammonia. But here we want 1 mole, we are writing here when 1 mole of compound is formed. Here compound is formed ammonia, that is NH3, we want 1 mole NH3. To form NH3 we require nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas, but nitrogen gas is available in the form of molecule, that is N2, and hydrogen is also available in the form of molecule, that is H2. Here N2 is available, but we want only one N. Therefore, we will take half of N2. We will take half of N2 means only N. We want H3. Here H2 is available. If we take 2 H2, then it will be a 4. But we want H3. Therefore, it will be a 3 by 2 H2. Now, whenever we write enthalpy of formation, we have to write its phase also at standard condition. At atmospheric condition means at 1 atmosphere and 25 degrees Celsius, what is the state of that material? Nitrogen is available in the form of gas, therefore we are writing G in suffix. Hydrogen is also available in the form of gas. Naturally hydrogen is available in the form of gas, therefore we are writing G in suffix. NH3, that is ammonia, is also a gas at atmospheric condition, therefore we are writing G. Suppose we take example of CO2, formation of CO2, that is CO2 will be formed from carbon and oxygen, but carbon is available in the form of solid. Carbon is available in the form of solid. In that, graphite is a stable state of a carbon. Graphite is a stable state of carbon. Therefore, we will write CS, that is S stands for solid, and O, G, G stands for O2, G stands for gas, and we will get CO2, and CO2 will be the gas. We will take some example. Oxygen is available in the form of gas. Water is available in the form of liquid at atmospheric condition. Okay, when liquid is changed from liquid to vapor, then it changes its enthalpy, and such change in enthalpy is called as enthalpy formation or formation of enthalpy. Now, formation of enthalpy of any substance at its standard state is always 0. Okay, carbon monoxide, CO is a gas, carbon dioxide, CO2 is a gas. Now this column gives the enthalpy of formation, and most of the cases enthalpy of formation is negative. Now look at here, oxygen O is a gas, but oxygen is available in the form of O2 naturally. Oxygen is available in the form of molecule O2, and at atmospheric condition O2 is a gas. Therefore, O2 formation of enthalpy is 0. Formation of enthalpy is always 0. Means at standard state and its standard physical state. Standard state means standard atmospheric condition, that is 1 atmospheric pressure and 25 degrees Celsius. At its standard state, at its standard phase, means for oxygen it is a gas phase. Change in enthalpy or enthalpy formation is always 0. Now carbon, C. Carbon can be a gas, diamond, graphite, but naturally available carbon is a graphite. Naturally available carbon is a graphite. When we see, or when the carbon is found naturally, is a graphite, or we can say graphite is a most stable state of the carbon. Graphite is a most stable state of carbon. Therefore, carbon at its natural state, the formation of enthalpy of carbon at its natural state means graphite state is 0. But diamond doesn't occur naturally. Carbon convert into diamond when it has been pressurized at very high pressure. Then it becomes diamond. Okay. Again, carbon monoxide CO, it is not naturally available. Then CO2 is also not naturally available, it is formed. Therefore, it has enthalpy of formation. If we take an example of nitrogen gas, that is N2. N2 is available, therefore N2 is available naturally, that is nitrogen is available in the form of N2. Therefore, formation of enthalpy delta H for N2 is 0. If we take an example of hydrogen, that is H2, hydrogen is available in the form of gas naturally. Therefore, for hydrogen gas, formation of enthalpy is 0. But if we take an example of hydrogen liquid does not obtain naturally. Therefore, enthalpy formation of enthalpy will not be 0 for liquid hydrogen. Again, for liquid nitrogen, formation of enthalpy of formation will not be 0. Again, for liquid oxygen, enthalpy of formation will not be 0. The enthalpy of formation will be 0 when the substance is available in its standard state at standard condition, standard phase. Now, calorific value or heating value of the fuel. Now, calorific value or heating value of the fuel means how much amount of heat is liberated when unit mass of fuel is burnt. When unit mass of fuel is burnt, the energy liberated by the fuel when 1 unit of fuel is burnt, that heat energy is called as a calorific value or heating value. The calorific value or heating value of the fuel is defined as the energy liberated by the complete oxidation of 1 unit mass or volume of a fuel. The energy liberated by complete oxidation means complete combustion of 1 unit mass or 1 unit volume of fuel. It is expressed in kilojoule per kg for solid and liquid and kilojoule per meter cube for gas. When we consider the gaseous fuel, we take 1 unit volume. When we consider solid or liquid fuel, then we consider 1 unit mass. It may be 1 gram, 1 kg, like that. If a fuel contains hydrogen, water will be formed as one of the product of combustion. If the fuel contains, like petrochemicals, it is a hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon means contains carbon as well as hydrogen. When such fuel is burnt, hydrogen convert into water vapor or the water. If the water is condensed, the large amount of heat will be released than if the water exists in the vapor state. If the hydrocarbon is burnt, carbon convert into carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide depending upon whether the combustion is complete or not, or whether the sufficient amount of oxygen is available or not. But hydrogen convert into water vapor. Okay, if that water vapor is condensed, that water vapor release the latent heat. Water vapor release the latent heat. For this reason, two heating values are defined. Okay, the higher or the gross heating value and the lower or the net heating value. Higher heating value is also called as gross heating value, and lower heating value is also called as net heating value. The higher heating value HHV is obtained when the water formed by the combustion is completely condensed. Why it is called as high heating value? Because when fuel gives some heat, when the fuel is burnt, it gives some energy. But water, when the hydrogen convert into water vapor, hydrogen convert into steam, and when that steam or the water vapor is condensed, it releases the latent heat, and that that heat is added in the higher heating value, that heat is added in the energy released by the combustion of fuel. Therefore it is add on in the energy released by the fuel. Therefore it gives the higher value than the energy released by the fuel. Therefore it is called as a higher heating value. The lower heating value LHV is obtained when water formed by the combustion exists completely in the vapor phase. It means when the fuel burnt, it gives some energy and hydrogen convert into water during the combustion does not condense. The water vapor formed during the combustion does not condense and it doesn't release the latent heat. Therefore, the heating value is remain as it is, as that the energy got during the combustion. Therefore, that value is called as a lower heating value. Thus, the higher heating value of product, higher heating value of product is equal to lower heating value of product plus mass into change in mass into latent heat, mass of water vapor formed multiplied by its latent heat. Now the lower heating value of is equal to lower heating value plus mass of water vapor and change in internal energy, change in internal energy, that is internal energy of the gas minus internal energy of the liquid, where mass is a mass of water formed by the combustion, where M is a mass of water formed by the combustion. HFG is the enthalpy of evaporation, or we can say latent heat of water in kilojoule per kg. Uses the specific internal energy of vapor in kilojoule per kg, and UF is the specific internal energy of liquid water in kilojoule per kg. In almost all practical cases, the water vapor in the product is vapor. The lower value is one of which usually applies. In most of the combustion, the hydrogen which has been converted into water vapor doesn't condense, and the heating value remains the lower heating value, and which is the applicable in most of the cases. Determination of calorific or heating value. Now, how to determine calorific or heating value for solid and liquid fuel? We use the Dulong's formula. Dulong suggested a formula for calculation of calorific value of the solid and liquid fuels from their chemical composition, which is given below. Higher heating value is written as 1 by 100 into bracket 33800 into carbon plus 144000 in bracket H minus 0 by H minus O by S plus 9270 S. Now, C is the mass of carbon, H is the mass of hydrogen, O is the mass of oxygen, S is the mass of sulfur, and again S is the mass of sulfur. This is a gross calorific value, or we can say higher calorific value, where C, H, O and S are the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur in percentage respectively in 100 kg of fuel, in percentage respectively in 100 kg of fuel. In the above formula, the oxygen is assumed to be in the combination of hydrogen, and only extra sulfur hydrogen supplies the necessary heat. Now, in this formula, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur will be put in percentage. If the 100 kg of fuel is used, suppose 100 kg of fuel is used, and the mass, whatever the mass of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur will be present, we will write that, but instead of 100 some different amount of fuel is taken, then we have to take in the percentage. Okay. Now, here oxygen, whatever oxygen is available, it will be considered it is in the combination of hydrogen, and only extra sulfur hydrogen supplies the necessary heat. Determination of calorific value or heating value of a solid and liquid fuels using Bohm calorimeter. Determination of calorific or heating value of solid and liquid fuels using bomb calorimeter. This is a bomb calorimeter. Bomb calorimeter consists of a outer insulated body. Outer insulated body, it is also called as insulated jacket. It is generally made up of a wooden body. It is generally made up of wood. Inside that wooden jacket, inside that insulated jacket, a glass bucket, or glass beaker is used. Glass beaker is used, and this glass beaker is completely filled with water. Glass beaker is completely filled with water. Inside a glass bucket, there is a bomb calorimeter. This is a bomb calorimeter. Okay, and this is a made up of steel. This is a made up of steel. Now inside which there is a one crucible, and inside the crucible there is a fuel, the fuel which is to be burnt. Now fuel is burnt with the help of electric supply. The fuel is burnt with the help of ignition coil. Now this bomb calorimeter is made up of steel metal. This bomb calorimeter is made up of steel metal. Inside bomb calorimeter there is a crucible, and in crucible the fuel which is to be checked, or the calorific value of fuel to be determined, is kept. Now in the fuel is in a contact with a electric coil, that is ignition coil, and ignition and the power is supplied by the 6-volt battery. Power is supplied by the 6-volt battery. When the power is supplied, the coil start heating and it burns the fuel which is available in the crucible. When the fuel is burnt, it produces the heat at a very high pressure, and sound come when the fuel burns, sound comes like a bomb. Therefore this calorimeter is called as a bomb calorimeter. It gives a sound like a bomb. Therefore this calorimeter is called as a bomb calorimeter. Now when the fuel is burnt, it releases the heat. When fuel is burnt, it releases the heat, and still bomb calorimeter get heated. Now how to measure how much amount of heat is released? That is how much amount of what is the calorific value of fuel? Outside that we are using water, means bomb calorimeter is completely surrounded by the water. When the fuel is burnt, it releases the heat. The bomb calorimeter got heated, the steel portion, the steel bomb got heated, and it releases the heat. It rejects the heat to the water, and water temperature increases. When the fuel is not burnt, initially the temperature will be recorded by the thermometer. The temperature of water will be recorded by the thermometer. When the fuel is burnt and water will get heated, then final temperature of the water will also recorded. It will give the change in temperature. Here one stirrer is used to maintain uniform temperature of water throughout. Stirrer is used to maintain uniform temperature of water throughout. Now for the combustion, combustion takes place in the presence of oxygen only. Therefore here we use oxygen supply valve. This is the oxygen supply valve. Oxygen is supplied in the bomb calorimeter so that combustion takes place. Here thermometer is used to record initial and final temperature of water. Initial temperature means the temperature of water when the fuel is not combusted, and the final temperature of water means after the combustion temperature of water increases, and that temperature is the final temperature. Stirrer is used to maintain a uniform temperature of water throughout. Now here magnifying eyepiece is given. Depending upon the type of thermometer, we can check the reading by magnifying eyepiece. Now air space between the wooden jacket and the glass beaker there is a air space. There is a air space. The calorific value of solid and liquid fuel is determined in the laboratory by bomb calorimeter. It is so named because its shape resembles that of a bomb. It is one of the reason why it is called as a bomb calorimeter. Another reason, when fuel is bumped, it gives the sound like bomb. Figure shows the schematic sketch of a bomb calorimeter. The calorimeter is made of austenitic steel, which provides considerable resistance to corrosion and enable it to withstand high pressure. The calorimeter is strong cylindrical bomb in which combustion occurs. In the calorimeter is a strong cylindrical bomb in which combustion occurs. The bomb has a two walls at the tip. The bomb has a two walls at the tip. Look at here. These two tips are attached to the 6-volt battery with the positive and negative. When the battery start, when the switch is on, the current supplies and coil get heated. Due to the current supply, fuel burns. One supplies oxygen to the bomb and other release the exhaust gas. A crucible in which a weighted quantity of fuel sample is burnt is arranged between the two electrodes as shown in the figure. The calorimeter is fitted with water jacket which surrounds the bomb. To reduce the losses due to radiation, calorimeter is further provided with a jacket of water and air. The stirrer for keeping the temperature of water uniform and the thermometer to measure the temperature up to an accuracy of 0.001 degrees Celsius are fitted through the lid of calorimeter. Now procedure. To start with, 1 gram of fuel sample is accurately weighted in the crucible. In a crucible, 1 gram of fuel is taken and the fuse wire, whose weight is known, is stretched between the electrode. It should be ensured that wire is in close contact with the fuel. Means the fuel should be in the close contact with the electric wires. To absorb the combustion product of sulfur and nitrogen, 2 ml of water is poured in the bomb. To absorb combustion product of sulfur and nitrogen, 2 ml of water is poured in the bomb. Bomb is then supplied with pure oxygen through the wall to an amount of 25 atmosphere. A bomb is then placed in the weighted quantity of water in the calorimeter. The stirrer is started after making the necessary electrical connection, and when the thermometer indicates the steady temperature, fuel is fired and temperature reading are recorded after half-minute interval until the maximum temperature is attained. The bomb is then removed. The pressure slowly released through the exhaust valve and the content of the bomb are carefully weighted for further analysis. The heat released by the fuel of combustion is absorbed by the surrounding water. The heat released by the fuel is absorbed by the surrounding water. Okay, it means heat loss by steel is equal to heat gained by water. Therefore, we have to take a balance equation. From the above data, the calorific value of the fuel can be found from the following way. Let's consider WF is the weight of fuel sample in kg. WW is the weight of water. C is the calorific value, that is higher calorific value of fuel. W is the water equivalent of calorimeter. Now T1 is the initial temperature of water and calorimeter. T2 is the final temperature of water and calorimeter. Tc is the radiation correction. Tc is the temperature radiation correction because we cannot measure the exact quantity of radiation happens during the combustion. Therefore, we take radiation correction. Now C is the specific heat of water. Therefore, the heat released by the fuel is mass of fuel into calorific value of fuel. Wf is the mass of fuel and C is the calorific value of fuel. During combustion, suppose mass is 1 kg and calorific value is 1000, then 1 into 1000 kilojoule per kg of heat will be generated. But in this case, we have to calculate calorific value. We don't know the value of C. We know the value of Wf. We know the mass of fuel. Now the heat received by the water and calorimeter. The heat supplied by calorimeter to the water is Ww plus We into C, or we can say M C delta T. M is the mass of water plus, look at here, W is the mass of water and W is the equivalent mass. W is the water equivalent of calorimeter. Therefore, we have to consider both. Water equivalent of calorimeter. Here, Ww is the weight of calorimeter and here We is the water equivalent of calorimeter. Therefore, you have to consider We also. Now, T2 is the final, C is the specific heat of water. T2 is the final temperature after combustion and T1 is the initial temperature before combustion and Tc is the temperature correction, radiation temperature correction. Therefore, heat lost is equal to heat gain. Heat lost by the bomb calorimeter is equal to heat gain by the water. Now, heat lost by the calorimeter is equal to Wf into C and heat gain is equal to Ww plus We C T2 minus T1 plus Tc. In this case, everything is known to us, only C is unknown, therefore we can calculate C. Capital C is a calorific value with the help of this expression. Now, value of C is a specific heat of water is 4.187 or 4.18 we can take in SI unit and unit in MKS unit.